Alright, I'm back. And I've been trying to sort this out while I was gone in my head, but I didn't. I don't think I got anywhere. Well, we have names. It's just we need to find like a thing, like something definitive where we can like be sure and then praise things. I guess I don't know. Okay, let's maybe look at timeline stuff. So Joanna Robertson was the first one. And she's there in 75. And in 76 she's married. And no longer Robertson but Fellows. And Christine Farrow was hired. Daughter of Elizabeth. In 76. And in 77, she was Christine Garland. And in 78, she was gone. Which is weird though, because didn't it say she eloped? They reconnected by chance and eloped at the end of last year. Valentine's Day 78 is when this. So in 77, at the end of 77, they eloped. Okay. No, that lines up again, right? 78, she's no longer working there. 77, she. That is weird. Because if they eloped, I guess, I don't know. Both working as much as they can. She's a secretary but went back to delivering produce on the weekends. No, that lines up, yeah, that makes sense, that's fine. Eloped to the pregnancy, yes. So that would make sense to be here. I think, because it's like timeline, it's like the next secretary. Like it's just the next one up, you know? Joanna Robertson leaves in 76, Farrow was hired in 76. 77, she's pregnant, gets married, and leaves the company. Well, so last known occupation, she went back to farming, right? Stephen? And then we only had the other stuff was the book. Kitchen Tales, the other one. There was no Steve Garland. Oh no, there was some Steve Garland, right? No, there wasn't. What would we? I don't know. We're in too many different places here. September 78, yeah. The child would be born at that time. If they eloped in 77 where she was pregnant. Bob mentioned that he's been giving lessons from his home kitchen for the last month so that he can keep an eye on his son. So he has a son. So we only know that it's his son, nothing else. Anyway. But I can't. How do I find? I guess you don't have a picture, but you do. Somewhere. But I don't have anyone else left. Right, okay, and then we also have, if we... This has to be mirrored then. Just because of the timeline. And then the other one was... What's her name? Let's fill that in, maybe. Mary Beth Clementine. We also have not looked up yet. Mary Beth Clementine was a singer most popular in the years between 42 and 59. She traveled around the country performing at churches. Her repertoire was a mix of religious and popular songs, and although she recorded a few records, they seemed lost to time. The only one you find mentioned was a cover of He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. Well, I don't need to hear that. Released under the label New Edison. One thing Mary Beth was known for was her adoptions. She was listed on many sites that mention adoption and the history of adoption. She adopted 2 children in the late 1940s, Stuart and Mark. She also spoke as an advocate for the benefits of adoption in front of the United States Congress in 1949, who were convening to debate and discuss the then recent first adoption of an African-American child to a white family in the United States. She was specifically there to detail her experience going through the system to adopt Stuart. Her other son was adopted later, and according to a single line on one adoption site, under unusual circumstances. But isn't Stuart the one who claims to be the son anyway? In 1959, it surfaced that Mary Beth had been twice divorced, both times to her manager Sterling. This ended her career with the religious audience. That's bogus. I mean, I don't think. I mean, she's a woman. Maybe it's plausible. Actually, yes. As a woman, you can't be divorced and having a religious audience. As a man, that's absolutely not a problem. But as a woman in the 50s, probably, actually, yeah. Anyway, she had been catering to, and while she performed occasionally since then, she mostly faded into obscurity, as we all do. Mary Beth passed away in 1994 at the age of 76 of a stroke. Okay. Okay, so Mary Beth Clementine was a musician, and Sterling, we don't know, but that was the manager. And then this would be Stuart. Clementine. Who's the boy in the vest? Who's... I don't know. And you would be Regina, but we don't know your last name. And what's the other boy's name? Her other son, Mark. So you would be Mark with a K, I think it was. But why would we still have you here? Unless you're like, maybe it's the other way around? Unless he's just wrong and he's not a Roottrie, but the other one is. And then these need to be flipped. So a little bit of one who has kids. Sure, but they are like, we have to sort them by age, and this is the older one. So that would indicate that actually this guy is the Roottree, and Stuart is wrong. I mean, like, I don't know, I can't see that this guy is older than this guy, but I can assume that, I think. Also, her other son was adopted later, and according to the single line on the adoption side, under unusual circumstances, so I don't know. I don't know. Okay, where do we look for more Mary Beth stuff? Mary Beth Clementine came to Butler County a few times and prayed religious hymns at the Miracle Congregation's church. She's mentioned 2 times, though the first visit from 49 was significantly more substantial. The Miracle Congregation welcomes Mary Beth Clementine with open arms. The article mentions that the church's leader was moved when he heard Mary Beth's recording of one of his favorite hymns. His eye is on the sparrow, and reached out to her personally. His eye is on the sparrow holds a very special meaning to me. As you know, I've had a very difficult upbringing, and it's not secret that my own eyes have always been a source of struggle. The song is about overcoming sadness and hardship through Jesus. If God can find a way to watch over every sparrow, he can certainly watch over those made in his image. My family's fortune does me no good as a man of the Lord. It's much better spent spreading his word, and I've felt a kinship with Mary Beth ever since I heard her voice. And I learned her personal story and knew I had to help her in whatever way I could. The Bible is full of adoptions, from Moses to Esther. Spending your life taking care of those helpless to help themselves is incredibly noble. She and her son are welcome to stay in our guest home. The second visit was a few years later in 1953. The article mentions that her first visit was a massive success, and at the insistence of Miracle's congregation, she returned for an encore performance. It also mentions that the unusual circumstances of her second son's adoption have prevented her from touring recently, but doesn't clarify. Mary Beth Clementine was reviewed and advertised many times in Modern Music Monthly, but the most popular recording was the release of her cover of He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, yes. Modern Music Monthly had a very positive review of her cover, and the writer complimented her voice and the tone of her guitar. The review had nothing to say about Mary Beth herself, so it's not of much use to your investigation. There were also some other Mary Beth Clementine releases that appeared over the years. One of them was The Old Rugged Cross, which is the only song that was advertised but not reviewed. Old Rugged Cross is a popular hymn that has been covered by many, many artists. You won't find much relevant information about it online. It's a shame. But it's probably also true for this. Actually nothing there, that's crazy. But if you find the label, maybe you find the manager. New Edison was a small record label based in Los Angeles. Which one? California? That existed for a few years in the 40s. It raced to release cover records of songs that were gaining in popularity. According to a website about the history of recorded sound, it was named after its founder, Sterling Edison. Its biggest claim to fame is being sued by the estate of Thomas Edison in Edison Records versus Edsel. Sure. You also find a few references to New Edison and Mary Beth Clementine on sites about old records. One collector says that the Holy Grail is a re-release of the Old Rugged Cross, and says that the first edition was originally published before she legally changed her name. So that's not even her real name. Another site claims that the police had to be called to New Edison records after its owner Sterling Edison got in a physical altercation in public, leading to a divorce. There are no cited sources or evidence, and the site's content seems user-submitted. There's an email address at the bottom and the phrase, "Send me your stories about old Hollywood and I'll add them to the page." Okay. Okay, that's that. Edison Records versus Edsel. Edison Records was one of the first record labels named after Thomas Edison. The history of the company seems very unimportant, except for potentially a lawsuit they filed in '49. Edison Records versus Edsel. A website about lawsuits mentions this is a fun case because the name of the lawsuit was actually the biggest problem for the person being sued. A record producer who called himself Edison was immediately outed as not actually being named Edison. Edsel was a German last name. No. It's not. And at the time of the founding of the company, the US was at war with Germany. The company's founder immediately settled to try to get the case to go away, but the damage was done. Edsel? That's not. I've never heard that name in my life. There's an Edsel Ford? Ford Motor Company, discontinued division, brand of automobiles. Edsel name of German origin is derived from the combination of the elements Erd, meaning noble, and Siege, meaning victory, noble one. Let's see. I mean, Edel would be, yes, Edel would be noble, but Edsel is nothing. And I don't really like. I don't think Edel is a more common name either. I mean, it's like as a first name. Edsel Ford, yes. Compared to German Edsel. Yeah, Edsel is from like Attila the Hun. That's, yes, but it's not really. I also don't know anyone named Edsel. But it's listed as a surname here. I don't know. I mean, you know, maybe. But it's not a normal name anyway. Anyway. Nothing for Edsel was a shame. Right, what was I doing before I got distracted by this outrageous claim that this is a German name? Where do I find this? Mary Beth Clementine released the Old Rugged Cross for New Edison, and it was advertised quite a few times. When it was first reviewed by the magazine, however, it listed the artist as Mary Beth Quaker. Okay. Sure. Sterling Edison, right. I forgot Edison immediately again. Oh no, wait, you're not actually, your name is Edsel, right? Right. It seems that New Edison Records and Modern Music Monthly had quite a lot of overlap. There are countless advertisements of various covers of popular songs. Yeah, when New Edison was sued by Edison Records, by the time the magazine had covered it, it seems like the lawsuit was settled out of court and New Edison was destined to shut down. The owner, who went by Sterling Edison, said he'd like to create a new record company. There's no evidence anywhere that he did, and there was the last mention of him in MMM. You find no appearance of anyone named Sterling Edsel in Modern Music Monthly. It seems that whatever he got up to after he was sued by Edison Records is no longer seemed newsworthy. Okay. I need more. That's not. That's a shame. New Edison, right? Yeah. Nothing. Okay. But like, you have a picture apparently. Clementine isn't a popular last name, and you manage to find a Stuart Clementine listed as one of many names on an emergency service website in New Orleans. It seems he's a police officer. He has no web presence. Right, that makes sense. Because that's also what the other thing said. Yeah. Nice. Booyah. It did say police officer somewhere else too, I just forgot. Where? Somewhere. Yeah, here, right. And then, okay, she's Regina Sarasa. That's where we had that too. No. I don't know where I find a picture of you though. Are you the manager? You might be. I thought you were American based on the picture, based on like the fact that you had an affair and everything. But obviously that could just be the manager. That makes more sense. Crocodile Clementine is listed on a website titled The Infamy List. It's a massive list of criminals who are known for odd crimes. That's a good list. Although Mark's nickname would imply he hails from Florida, a lot of others on the list come from... Yeah, that does make sense. That does make sense. Or Australia, yes, Crocodile, also a very Australian name, for sure. Mark is listed as being from Los Angeles. He has a pretty big entry. He seems like a real piece of work. There's a very small note about him being the basket baby of 1950, but most everything else comes from his adulthood. We have to definitely look at that. He lost his job in 1975 as a pilot for a regional airline after he tried to board the wrong airline's plane. He was drunk. He was charged with trespassing and assault. Yeah, okay. In 82, he was arrested for transporting smuggled animals over the Canadian and Mexican borders for an illegal reptile supply in Los Angeles. Are there tariffs on crocodiles? He was apparently quite successful for the first 4 years, but was caught when he had to make an emergency landing. Not a crash. Not a crash, an emergency landing in Portland. Which one? After he was bitten on the foot by a crocodile, hence the nickname. Apparently, the Portland Telegraph is credited as having given him his nickname. His mugshot from this incident has been added to your photos. Nice. In 93, he was released on parole, but his freedom didn't last long. He was arrested in 94 in San Diego for violating... Which one? I mean, that maybe... I don't know. That probably is a second San Diego somewhere, right? For violating it in an attempt to visit his daughter's graduation. He famously punched the principal, a man named Billy Sims. The incident received national press. Okay, lots of stuff there. It's very good. so much good stuff in this one. I like it. That's excellent. Can we look at the Portland Telegraph? Yes. The Portland Telegraph is a run-of-the-mill newspaper based out of Portland, Oregon. Finally! They have a website with a lot of dry statistics about how many subscribers they have, how many issues there have been, and the awards they have won. The website doesn't appear to have any useful data. Okay. Can I look at the infamy list? I want the entire list, not just Crocodile Clementine. Okay, Basket Baby of 1950. A few sites about true stories focused on and around religion mentioned that in 1950 a gospel singer named Mary once found herself dealing with a real-life baby Moses situation. Sure, yes, of course. Apparently she was a rather prominent supporter of the concept of adoption, and someone decided to test how much. They left the baby on her doorstep in a basket. According to the sites, she adopted him without question and raised him as her own son, because he was her own son. Although it was national news, in many circles he became known as the Basket Baby, and he even went on tour with her as he grew up. None of the websites state who the woman or baby were, likely to prevent people from looking into either of the people too closely. From context, you know that it's Mary Beth Clementine, who would later be shunned due to her personal life, and her son Mark, who would later be known as Crocodile Clementine. Excellent. Excellent. So good. Billy Sims. Billy Sims is the principal of Sandstone Canyon High School, who had his 15 minutes of fame in '94 when he was punched by Crocodile Clementine at a graduation ceremony. I think that's, you know, he probably had it coming. Pretty much every news organization from Trustworthy to tabloids seemed to have their own take on the altercation. It wasn't the punch that captured the nation's attention, however. Instead, it was Billy Sims' matter-of-fact response to the threat and his comments afterwards, as heard in a now famous audio clip from someone who was recording the ceremony. Billy saw Mark hop onto the graduation stage and said, "Sir, you'll want to sit down or we'll have a problem." At that point, Crocodile reportedly sucker punched him in the face. Billy, apparently only slightly dazed, said, "Alright, sir, I guess we'll have a problem." Clementine tried to throw another punch, but Sims anticipated it and performed a maneuver that spectators described as a wrestling move mixed with a backward somersault. Okay. Which immediately brought both men to the floor, with Sims straddling Clementine, keeping him neutralized. As security arrived, the recording captured someone asking, "How did you do that?" And Sims' response was famously, "Trust me, I'm as surprised as anyone." Yeah. Anyway, welcome back, Pink Temperance. You know you've missed heaps. It would be nice to catch up with you missed later. There's a lot of stuff in this one, man. There is. Sandstone Canyon High School is in San Diego. There's not much information about it, though it's mentioned a lot in articles about the Billy Sims incident. That makes sense. Multnomah County. Where's that? Kind of like a Kurt Cobain kind of vibe for sure. I can't add the... okay. He's a criminal. He's a smuggler. He's I don't know. I mean, he was a pilot before he was all of that. Anyway. It doesn't look like the same kid, but like this is locked in and I don't know. Whatever. Right, well, like we need... how do I find out? So your daughter's graduation, right? Yes. Maybe look at the Telegraph. Really? Come on. Boston Telegraph was the one that provided the nickname Crocodile Clementine and has some details about Crocodile Clementine's first major arrest. He was flying weekly between Los Angeles, Juarez, and Vancouver in a small plane. His flights were very low, literally under the radar. He was only caught because he was bit by a crocodile on the leg and had to call in a mayday because he was losing blood. He tried to tell them that he was a crop duster who somehow cut his leg on a loose piece of metal in the cockpit, but his story seemed very odd and controllers quickly alerted the police without informing him. When he landed, they were waiting and he was promptly arrested. I don't think there's like a follow-up to this though. Which is a shame. Who else went to Portland? The rapper guy, what's his name? David's... Stupid names. Fellows, right. But there's nothing else there. But he went to Portland. Or was that the other one? Who went to Portland? I kept complaining about it. That's all I remember. Anyway. We're making progress here. I don't know how I find your spouse. And yeah, we know you have at least a daughter who graduated in San Diego, but I don't know how to find anything there. Because we don't have any, like the Portland Telegraph is not going to help us with the San Diego high score, nor the Butler County Times, and then none of the other things really apply either. I don't know where I would get, I don't know, I would want a recording, but like, I don't know. Yeah, that feels like a dead end right now. Anyway, police officer, yeah, never knew his father. Mary Beth Clementine. Yeah, okay. I don't think there's much else here. I mean, there's one more thing. I don't know what, though. It might just be we haven't logged in everything, right? The wife's name. Okay, and then I guess we just, I don't know. Yeah, Christine, Stephen Garland, so that's definitely right. But I don't know how I find the name or the picture. I don't know where to look. And I don't know where we get a new Elias Roottree photo either. So I don't know how to make that happen. And then this still seems weird. So maybe that's actually Susan. Was it Susan? Forgot her name again. Actually, when did... Okay. Now we looked at that already. Like that timeline. Susan Ford. In 82. That's not the one I wanted. Do I look for this ever? Nothing there. Man, I don't know. But I wanted this one. A few weeks later, 82. Mr. Hughes. So then that would make you... I mean, maybe, I don't know. Thomas Hughes. I'm not sure if that's the right spot for you though. And you would be Susan... What was the name? I keep forgetting her name. Why can't I remember her name? I can't. Ford. It was another principal. I think. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know where I would find anything else, is the thing. Not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Move to Portland. Yeah, he's the one in Portland. But there's nothing else to look up for him really. So it doesn't really. There's nothing that the Portland newspaper could really help us with, I think, which is a shame. For sure. And I can't lock anything in here because I don't know how to find your child. And I don't know how to find more here either. Tough. But okay, there's gonna be more Guy Hudson stuff we can find for sure. And we can look for these names, I guess, but I don't know how. Corinne Schwartz comes up in a few articles from local news stations in Pennsylvania. Some of the people attempting to track down an anonymous were harassing her. She recently had to take a leave of absence because people showed up at the car dealership where she works. She's begging people to stop the accusations so that she can get back to a normal life. In every article you find, the journalists involved have independently verified that she's not anonymous. Okay. Nothing about Beatrice Watts. Linda Lewis. Angela Ingram. Lisa Lewis. So Linda and Lisa. Valerie Ewing. Catherine Garrett. William Sams. I don't think we'll find anything like this, but maybe. Emily Seinfeld. Emily Barnes. Gwyneth Madsen. Well, we know her, who she is. Maybe. Madsen is over here somewhere, right? No. Hudson. Here, Gwyneth Madsen. Gwyneth Cattrall, she married. Not super helpful. Okay. Sheep was the Chinese word for watermelon. Very good. It even says that here as well. Nice. Okay.